Now. Hello, good morning, and afternoon, and evening. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm Jay, and I'm joined by wherever he is. He might be that side or that side.
John, hello.
All right.
Well, I'm on the right when I'm looking at it. You're on the left.
So there he is. It's John. I never know. It's weird. Records differently all the time. Hello, mate. Have you had a good week?
Yeah, not bad. I'm a little bit worried that you seem to have changed your name to Austin.
Yeah, Austin.
Who's Austin?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And that's the bottom line, brother.
Yeah, and that's yeah, Austin 316. It's a. I was gonna. Oh no, I almost swore there. Not a bad swear, but it's a
Oh,
super cool
there's
t-shirt.
that. Don't you dare. You asked how my week was. Well, my week has been fairly busy teaching online, which has been quite cool actually. I'm getting used to it now. The lessons are going really well. How about yourself?
Yes, very good. I'm just sat here looking at my pending fate, which is completing this VW
Uh,
Golf model later this afternoon on the iRock chat, and then. But yeah,
cool.
great week. I've seemed to have accumulated loads of pens on my windowsill and
Nice.
a Monster Munch wrapper. So it's pretty productive week, mate. Let's fire it. Keep it snappy. You've got something to show
Yeah.
everyone, and I have as well. So take it away, John.
Yeah, cool. So last few sessions we were talking about notes, right? So we looked at the crotchet, we looked at the quaver,
Quaver.
and we looked at the semi-quaver, right? Now just to remind you, the crotchet is counted 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And it's played like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And those guys that come to our workshops will know that you have to count 1, 2, 3, 4 to keep in time, right? The quaver is playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so you've got a note in between every single crotchet. And then with the semi-quaver, there's 4 beats per heartbeat. So this is the semi-quaver, and it goes like this: 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a... So crotchet, 1, 2, 3, 4, then quaver, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, then semi-quaver, 3 and a 4, semi-quaver, semi-quaver, semi-quaver. So you can count it semi-quaver, semi-quaver, or if it's a quaver, you can count it quaver, 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 quaver. And you can try that at home. One of you can play crotchets, one of you can play quavers, and one of you can play semi-quavers. But the thing I wanted to introduce today, which not a lot of people talk about very often, is this one here. Can you see that, Jay?
I see the number 3, John.
Yeah, man. That looks like 3 crotchets, but it's not. It's actually a triplet.
Ooh.
Now, a triplet is a really cool thing because it makes the groove bounce. It makes it bounce. So I'm going to play something that's got that bounce to it really quickly. Cool. So that kind of bounces. You'll hear that quite a lot in jazz music.
Yeah, man.
Now, what it is, it's the triplet. So you've got 3 notes per heartbeat. So if this is the heartbeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't sound like that groove you just played. And it doesn't. What you have to do is take out that middle note.
Okay.
So, and you pronounce it like this, rather than pronounce a 1, look, 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 you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I've done is I've used Garageband. And now, Jay, I believe I've chosen your favourite style of music to put a very quick track together this morning. And it's the blues track. Played by Moi on the guitar.
On the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, Moi on the guitar. And it's just a really quick sort of 16 bars. So it's not 12 bar blues. I think it's 16 anyway. but I thought I'd have a little jam through that just to give you guys a little example of what it sounds like to be, and it's called skipping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Here we go. Hear that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeehaw! Taylor's gonna love this. Yeehaw! Woo! Oh, 1, 2, 3. Now, if you don't want to play this beat I'm playing, you can just play this. Oh, 1, 2, 3. But it's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, which if you played on its own, wouldn't sound like it's swung. 3, 4, 1, 2. But as soon as you add the it sounds swung. Now, if you want to be really clever, you can keep the 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the bass and snare, and then add the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 on the left hand. Check this out. Here we go. Feel that bounce, Jay?
Yeah.
Cool. So that is the triplet. And that's what I wanted you guys to understand today. So we've got the crotchet, the quaver, the semi-quaver, and now the triplet.
Wow.
So you can just clapping that rhythm at home by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And check out some blues music because there's loads of swing in blues music.
That's awesome, man. Nice one.
Cool.
I like the track. That's really cool. It reminded me of a song called "The Wanderer," which
The Wanderer. The Wanderer. Oh, you probably sing it better than me. Go on, sing it to everyone.
It's really
That's
bad.
the
Actually,
one.
it's quite chauvinistic. That it's sort of a bit. It's about this bloke who just goes around like dating as many women as he can, sort of thing, and everyone's meant to be all right with it, sort of thing. It's very, very, very dated now. But yeah, or something like "Let's Stick Together." That's another bluesy one. It reminds me of loads of songs. Nice work, man. I like that. I've written it down. Look, triplets.
Triplets.
Yeah.
Nice one.
So at iRock this week, well, over the last few weeks, there's been loads of different segments and different songs, and there's this new thing that we're doing called Under the Hood, and I think you're familiar with it, John. But I'm just going to share my screen with you folks in a mo because couple of the folks on the chat said, who sings those songs? And I said, it's me. And they said, we don't believe you.
Whoa, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you, it's me.
It might be you, but I've got evidence.
Are you literally about to lie to everyone and say that was you that recorded them?
Yeah, it was.
You are so cheeky. Guys, don't listen to him. It was me. Look.
I've got a microphone.
Genius has recorded everything on here.
Well,
anyway, listen to him live.
So what you do is you use this little piece of equipment here. So this is a connector to my iPad, which allows me to connect a big USB to it, and I use this. But the one thing you have to do with an interface, you have to make sure you're using power. So you can see there, that's where I connect the power as well. So then I can connect this to my iPad, which is situated here, and with this I can connect a microphone, or I can connect an instrument. And by instrument, I mean bass guitar or guitar. If I use a keyboard, I will connect via this, which says, you can see it says device, okay? So I don't use I use a MIDI keyboard basically, which is a lot easier to edit. And so if, like me, you're not terribly great at keys, you can shift them around really easily. So I'm just going to share my screen. I'm going to play you the backing track of this track. Here we go. If I share this, it should work. And there we go. I just need to accept that. Oh, that's nice. You probably can't see anything at the moment, and that's okay. Here we go. So, you can now see this is... Oh, I'm using AirPlay. Why am I using AirPlay? Oh, I know
No,
why.
go for it.
I know why I'm using AirPlay, John. Let's turn off my Bluetooth. There you go. Okay. So, this is basically a rock band in my iPad. And you can see on the top here where it says Retro Rock, I've got some drums. I'll select these ones. You can see them here. And in there, what I've done is I've written some drum fills. I like to put the drum fills separately so I can make them louder or quieter or distorted or anything. And then I've got another drum track here, which, as you can see, there's not a lot going on. I think they're cymbals. I like to keep the cymbals separately as well because they can be really tinny and a bit. And then this one here is the actual beat. So what I'm going to do, folks, I'm just going to play the drums as they are, okay? So this is just the drums. Here we go. Press play. And so if I wanted to, I could just play the drum fill here, which I played in with my fingers. So if I go on to here, you can see this is exactly how I'd play. There'll be a delay, but... And so I'll play with my fingers and go... It's very, very disconcerting doing it with AirPlay because there's a real delay. Because look, there you are. And I'll come out of that. And now, as part of the track, what I would do is I would add some guitars. So if we hear the guitar, there was a fellow who was asking, Hayden on the chat was saying, how do you record guitar? Well, here's the two rhythm guitars, and they're really fat sounding. And so I've used like a Gretsch guitar, which is like really similar to a Gibson. It's got really fat humbucker sound, but to be honest, you can stick anything through those amps and it sounds cool. Then I've got these ones that I've added, these two here. You can see this one and this one. And those guitars are just like little overdubs. So they're little, think of it as like a canvas and I'm painting and I just want a little shade of green here and there on a tree or something like that. So here they go. I'm just going to play those solo, folks, so you can hear how scratchy they sound. And it really doesn't matter, like, if something's perfect or not in recordings, because I think it's important that you show a bit of character. So anyone watching, making your recordings, especially like on iPad, just get them down. Like, it's about the kind of feel of it. So it just sounds a bit crazy. And then the last, well, there's some tracks here. I'm just going to add the bass guitar as well, if that's all right, folks. Actually, I'm just going to add the bass and drums. Here we go. So this is where John and I come from. John, of course, on drums, me on bass. And this is how I've tried to make it a rock band in an iPad. So you can go too far. You can go quite far with an iPad and make it sound like Pet Shop Boys. Here we go. Bass, drums. Bass guitar, I've used a plectrum and I want it to be really clicky. And if I add the...
I've got someone at the door.
Have you really? All right, mate. So whilst John's going to get his door, we'll hear the whole band, okay? Obviously without the vocals so far. And so those guitars at the end are deliberately, I think everybody knows the Fleetwood Mac song, The Chain, which is dom, bom, 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 bom. And it was used on Formula One. as the soundtrack for that. And on the Formula One soundtrack, have you got it, John?
I can't play it though. There you go.
And so those, and just to make it relevant to John's chat a moment ago with those semi-quavers, that they are semi-quavers, I think.
Actually, they're quavers, 1 and 2.
Aren't they? Yeah, sorry, quavers. And so you'll find that these at the end here, and so because it's a car themed show that the kids are doing, it makes sense to kind of use those different elements that might be familiar with us already. So there we go. And I can't oh, there we go. And then the vocals are a completely different beast. So they're all here on track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tracks of vocals. Maybe we'll cover those another time. So yeah, that's how we made Under the Hood.
Dude, that is awesome. Nice one.
I think if anyone...
I don't want people waiting in suspense, thinking, what is that package that we've had delivered? So shall I cut it open now and tell you guys what it is?
I could, yeah, go on then, yeah.
It's really interesting. And it's under the same sort of subject heading of cars, but it's not a car. It's actually for a motorbike, I think. Oh, there's another packet. It is what I think it is. See that sign on there, guys? What's it say, Jay?
Harley Benton.
Harley Davidson.
They make guitars, don't they? Harley Benton. No, Harley Davidson.
That is awesome. Well, this is actually a little switch. It's a tiny little thing with a ball bearing on the end of it. And it goes into my gearbox and tells me when the neutral light should be on.
Wow.
Because the neutral light hasn't been working.
Absolutely.
So do you know what happens when the neutral light isn't on, Jay? You go to start the motorbike and suddenly it shoots off and you go, ooh!
I think that was my only experience of a motorbike, if I'm honest. So, yeah, it shot up in the air. I didn't like that. So, folks, Randall's got a delivery. We've learned about triplets and we've taken a look under the hood at the Under the Hood track. So, we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us and watching. And it's goodbye from me and probably goodbye from...
It's goodbye from me. Guys, thanks for logging in again and watching our videos. If there's anything in particular you want us to feature in one of these shows, please do give us a shout and we'll do our best to accommodate.
Yeah, okay. Also, a little bonus feature, I've realised my tash is very long. So
right.
I can look like next week, I might come on, I might wear a sombrero as well. I look like a musketeer, look. Pretty cool. And on that note, see you next week.
See you later.
Hey!